Okay, we are going to start Unit 4 today. Unit 4 has all to deal with forces. Right? We're talking about frictional forces, we're talking about normal forces, we're going to be talking about tension forces, we're going to be talking about all kinds of different forces here. And today's stuff is going to involve a lot of drawing. I think before we get into any kind of, the mathematical equations, we need to make sure that we understand which direction forces are acting in. Okay, so quite a few notes today, and then the assignment's just going to be some drawing stuff. So, what is the cause of motion? We've been spending our time talking about velocities, accelerations, all those things. We're actually going to kind of take a step back with that today. And we're going to talk about what causes those motions. Okay, so in order for an object to move, a force has to be applied. Okay, so a change in motion must require a force, and that force is going to be a push or a pull of some sorts. All right. Believe it or not, we have forces acting on us at all times. Right. So right now, gravity is pushing me down into this chair, but also my chair is pushing up on the force of gravity to make sure that I don't fall to the floor. My chair is rated to support human body weight. So it can exert enough force against gravity. And so those forces are acting on probably all of us right now. Okay. A couple different kinds of forces in there as well. Contact versus distant forces. Okay, here's some contact forces. That is where two objects are touching each other. Okay, so we have friction's an obvious one. A normal force, that's the force of the chair keeping me from falling to the floor. We have a tension force. We have a spring force, even air resistance. Right, as you're free falling, and the molecules of air are creating friction, that is a contact force. Distance forces are forces that are able to act between two objects that are not touching. Okay, here are the three examples I have. We have gravity. That's the obvious one. That's the one we're going to be using a lot. All right. So the force of gravity is going to act on you whether you're touching the earth or not. We're going to have we're going to have gravity involved. Magnetism. Everyone's seen two magnets work. All right. I think I actually have. I do have. Everyone has seen two magnets work before, where they have um, they're not touching each other, but yet there is a force pulling between them, and they should be attracted to each other there or repelled. And then electric forces also do not touch each other as they're going. Um, Types of forces. Okay, this is what you're going to want to write down. These are the ones we're going to be using for our assignment and for, quite frankly, the whole unit. First one, we are going to symbolize them all with that capital F, meaning it's a force, and then the lowercase f indicating what kind of force it is. Okay, so the frictional force is our first one, and that is a contact force that oppose sliding motion between surfaces. We'll spend a lot of time talking about this, but the frictional force will always be drawn against motion. So whatever direction motion is, friction is acting in the opposite direction of that motion. It's also parallel to the surface. Next one, the normal force. All right. That is a contact force exerted by a surface on an object, and it's perpendicular to the surface. So that would be the chair I'm sitting in. Okay, so the chair I'm sitting in is pushing upwards versus gravity pushing downwards there. So normal forces always act in that perpendicular to the surface range. Other types, tension forces we'll see. So if you're holding on to an object via a rope or something is dangling it, it is a pull exerted by a string or rope or cable attached to and pulled tight, and it acts away from the object parallel to the string at the point of attachment. And then, oops, sorry. And then weight or the force of gravity. Okay, so F sub G, and that's due to the gravitational attraction between two objects. It is always going to be straight down towards the center of the Earth. Okay, it's going to be straight down towards the center of the Earth. It's going to get a little bit tricky when we get to like angled planes, because maybe the floor is going down at an angle. Gravity is going to pull it straight down towards the center of the Earth all the time. Okay. Before we add any numbers, we are just going to get started on this by drawing which direction forces are going. So in order to represent the force acting on an object, physicists draw force body diagrams. So we're just going to use arrows and abbreviations to show which forces are acting upon the object and in what direction they are acting upon. Let me pull up our worksheet today so that we can see this together. Okay, let me do a new share. Okay, here's our worksheet. Maybe. There we go. Okay. With the worksheet, like I said, we're going to be drawing in arrows as far as which direction forces are acting. If it were me, I would just draw it in my notebook and then take a picture of it. For you guys, I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like if you want to draw it on the computer. I don't want to insert a picture that's incorrect. I wanted to insert a shape. Lots of arrows. So here's an object that's lying motionless. We have two forces acting upon that object. We have gravity acting down there. Oops. We have gravity pulling it down. I don't know why I'm struggling here. Yeah. Let's start over. So gravity's gonna be pulling an object down, and then we're going to have the normal force pulling the object up. And then I would just write in like the margins up here. I would just write that that's the normal force. And then down here, I'd write that this is the gravity, force of gravity. Okay, for that one, there's only two. It's only two forces acting upon it. You'll go through, I believe there are 18. You'll go through and just write out which forces are acting, draw which arrows you think are present in the worksheet there. So try your best. As usual, there'll be an answer key tomorrow.